He's editor-in-chief of Breitbart News and a New York Times best-selling author. And on this podcast, he brings deep research, prescient analysis, and world-class guests. He's Alex Marlowe, and this is The Alex Marlowe Show.
Greetings, everyone. It's Thanksgiving, and I wanted to share a little personal story with you. I was sitting around last night, in the night, talking to Mrs. Dr. Marlowe. All the kids had gone to bed. It was steak night. It was a good night. I did teriyaki steak. I did the bone-in ribeye. So I do the reverse sear. So you go as low and slow as you need to, and then fire up that sear side as hot as you can. I got the grill marks. I'm not normally a big grill mark guy. I think kind of like an even cast iron crust is a little preferable, but it was good. It was great. Everything came out perfect. I don't normally splurge on the bone-in ribeye. But it felt celebratory, and that's where I'm going with this. This is a celebratory occasion. And I'll share with the audience that I thought this year was kind of a monster on a personal level. It started for me with the birth of Duchess Marlowe Jr., which was supposed to be a joyous event. It turned out to be very stressful. She struggled for the first day or so. It was very overwhelming at the start. And that quickly improved. But it was an interesting beginning of the year for me. I had a lot of irons in the fire at work, and a lot of projects that I was working on weren't getting off the ground, or they're very slow, or I felt like it was going to be months in the making to get there. And there's this looming election anxiety that in the news business in particular, but particularly if you're part activist, part news person, that looms over you during an election year. You kind of dread it. You love it because it's what we live for, but it's also, there's a sense of dread because it's so overwhelming in nature. And there are other things going on as well. Mrs. Dr. Marlowe started a new job. She had a big transition to a role with much more responsibility, and that feels good, but it's also hard to do. She had some big exams she had to take, et cetera. And, to seal the deal on a few things that she's been working on her whole life. So, and I was also starting to feel like I wasn't living perfectly in balance. I wasn't spending the right time on the right things, health-wise, spiritually, things like that, things that were mostly in my control, but you have to change habits, you'd be disciplined. If you want to, if you want to have those be a benefit to you, that they can be. The big things in my life are in order. I'm mostly responsible person. I have a great job at Breitbart day to day. So those things are good. My kids are good, but I did feel like I didn't know if I was going to be able to sustain that, the things that defined me. And I had some concerns, but I grinded it out. We grinded it out as a group, and we took things a day at a time. And some days you got to take things an hour at a time. And all of a sudden things started to fall into place. It turns out Duchess Marlowe Jr. is by far the best baby we've ever had. No offense if any of my kids are watching this. We got through my wife's transition, and she's doing well. And some of those work deals finally got done, in particular this show, something that I've been wanting to get back on the air. It was incredibly frustrating for me not to have a show during the election. And I love analyzing politics day to day. It's my favorite thing among all the things that I do, I would say. And I missed it. I really did. And I wanted that to happen, but things didn't line up perfectly for the timing. Timing wise, it just didn't make sense. But we knew it was happening by the second half of the year, that it was going to happen. I was going to end up with Salem with my buddies and the best faculty in all of radio. And we're going to start the process of building my audience back again. And then something magical happened. The election happened. And we didn't just win. The best part is we won by a lot. And young people were starting to get it. I read this poll on yesterday's show on how young people have overwhelming favorability to Donald Trump. Suburban women started to get it. Blacks and Latinos were moving towards Donald Trump. People were starting to speak freely again. They weren't afraid of cancel culture. They weren't afraid to make a joke. They weren't afraid that they were going to get boycotted or lose their jobs because they said something that was, pro-science. And all of a sudden, we're last night, and we're sitting around talking, and I was thinking, this is the most optimistic I've been about this country in my entire life. And a lot of people worked really hard, including you in the audience, for us to get here. But one thing that just really loomed over the year, that we were going to codify everything that those people who have loomed over us for so long, who forced us to keep our children home during the pandemic when it was anti-science, who made us close our businesses while liquor stores remained open. We couldn't go to church. And they had this mass hysteria where they were forcing all the trans stuff into our kids' faces, into our classrooms. And they were calling us every name under the sun like fascists when they were canceling their own primaries. How could America let that group of people win? And then they were the ones with the audacity to call themselves joyful. They ruined so many of our favorite brands. How many of you felt uncomfortable buying something that you use in your life that was a comfort to you because of their wokeness or DEI, whatever it is? They're pandering to the most extreme versions of the left. Their victimhood, which is just so nauseating to deal with every day. How could we let them win? And we didn't. We chose normalcy over the total woke insanity. A new frontier in American life, what we would have never seen before, with just rampant leftism, socialism, trans stuff, Marxism, whatever it is that they were going to do, their goals, corporatism, godlessness, it was all getting worse, it seemed like. And now all of a sudden, it feels like Americans get it. There's a consensus. We rejected it wholesale. So we got to be diligent. But the good news is we are back in the driver's seat, and it feels like everything's possible. And now we're heading into the holiday season, starting with Thanksgiving, an amazing holiday. I love Thanksgiving. The most celebrated holiday, uniquely American, special, gets the most participation of anything. I love the food. I talked about this on yesterday's show. And I've got a great message for you. It's time to celebrate. It's time to enjoy ourselves and enjoy this incredible country that God gave us and that we happen to be in at this amazing moment in time. And we can always be better and we can always work harder, but it's time to be thankful right now to be here in the United States of America at this amazing moment. And also, for those of you in Cambodia, I noticed I was somehow on the Cambodian podcast charts. Thank you. I don't know what to say, and I don't know if this message applies to you. But thanks for the support. We do chart in Canada too. Canada, you guys got to earn some of your freedom back, I think. I think you got a good chance. I think you got a good chance up there. A lot of Canadian content this week. But I just want us all to carry this hope into the season and be those shining lights. You'll have conversations with people in your life who don't understand what we believe in. And now you get to be joyful. You get to be patient with them. And I know they will frustrate you, but they're going to be the ones who are angry. They're going to be the ones who are cutting you off. We're not going to do that. We don't do that. We believe they're reachable. They don't want to try to reach us. They want to try to shut us down, shame us, keep us in silence. That's how the left operates. It's not how we operate on the right. We believe in free speech, debate, discussion. So embrace that. Don't get angry with anyone, but explain to them some of the values that you think really resonated with the American people. And their control over the country, the culture, their stranglehold, it's over. And they're not going to get it back. They'll never have it back again. So we've got a chance. We're on a more equal footing than I've ever seen, we on the right. And we've got to carry that with us. It's time to celebrate, but it's also, we can change more minds. We got the momentum. So we're not going to let our foot off the gas as part of why I started the show right away. Didn't want to wait until the new administration or the new year even. I want to get going as fast as I could so we can talk. And we're going to be very diligent here in the Alex Marlowe Show to make sure that we're on top of everything they're up to. But for now, it's a good time to have a great time. So raise a glass for this great country, for Donald Trump and his family, for the Breitbart Newses of the world, and all of you and the activist right who have fought so hard for all this. And let's just be that city on a hill, all of us together. That's my Thanksgiving message for all of you. If you would like to correspond with me, aloha@alexmarlowe.com is where you find me. 5-star reviews, comments, sharing, all that helps. You know what to do if you want to support me and the show. And I'll talk to you soon.